Welcome to Oops, All Apocalypses, a show where we explore the collapse of society by playing fun tabletop role-playing games. I'm your host, Stu Masterson, and I'm joined by one second hand and 1 minute hand. Choose wisely.
Ooh, this is a tough one.
Well, what if I want to be the hour hand?
I'm not joined by an hour hand.
Okay.
I feel like you have more opportunity with the second hand, if you think about it, because 1 minute is 1 minute, right? But 60 seconds is 60 different moments, right? Yeah. You see some logic here?
I'm totally fine with that because that means you have to move 60 times more often than I do.
Ooh, I'm not very mobile, so that does make it kind of tough.
Hey everybody, it's Brady and I am the minute hand of the podcast. Medium energy, medium usefulness, medium everything. And I play Book McCready, the medium smart sleuth who is hoping to do a medium good job at being a lawyer against his mortal foe, Hickory Fleek.
And I am secondhand Cecil,
That was good.
I think that's the second time you've ever said your last name, though, so most people won't get it.
It's true. And I play Ocean, a gentle giant who's deciding it's time to take the law into his own hands.
Ooh, exciting. It sounds vigilante-ish, but you're actually doing it through official means.
Literally, he's a lawyer right now. He's never practiced law before, so he's a little out of his element.
Well, I'm happy we're back. I'm sorry we missed a week or two or something like that, depending on when this comes out. But we're ready to rock it through an exciting courtroom drama, which is now what our show is.
It is once again my fault.
You had very good excuses, though.
Again.
I know. You're just racking up the good excuses.
Excuses McCready is what we should call him.
I'm probably going to cut this, but I was thinking about it. And the minute hand is the one that can also, you care about the least when you're looking at it. Like, it's okay to round that however you want. But if you're looking at the second, you usually really care.
You really want to pay attention to the second hand.
So I think it's a low pressure hand.
Medium everything.
I don't think this is good to listen to. This isn't a fun thing to say in a podcast.
I think this kind of discourse is what people have become accustomed to. And if they're still listening, this is exactly what they want. Don't you have a Book's Nook of Book Take?
Do we have a Book's Nook of Book Takes?
We normally do those after everything else, but yeah, I think I have a few.
I'm sorry.
God, you can tell we haven't recorded in a minute. Look how unhinged we are today.
I'm also very tired.
Keep that energy.
Brady's been covered in literal dog shit.
That's true.
That's not even a joke.
24/7.
It's dead serious.
Before we get to the spoilered Book's Nook of Book Takes, we have a BuzzFeed Presents Apocalypse brought to us by our very own Mr. Cecil.
Yeah, and this is one I got straight from BuzzFeed too, because I couldn't figure out an answer. So
You've gotten so lazy.
I used to have such good questions, but I actually do like this question. So you just won $10,000. What are you going to do with it?
I think you're supposed to start. I like it though. 10,000 is a good number. It's not like too high. It's not too low.
Okay, in that case, if I gotta start, then I think Ocean would spend it on doing a bunch of upgrades to the spider. That's kind of his it's his baby, and I imagine that's where most of his free time and energy is exerted whenever he's just kind of chilling around. Like, some people that just like tinkering with their cars. I imagine that's kind of how Ocean is. So if he got a huge chunk of sum, I thought he would be using it to add some pretty nifty upgrades to the spider, because there's still lots of different things he wants to add to it. Like maybe add some more pitons, upgrade the wheels, actually
take one away again.
Yeah, take one away again and then add it back.
I like it. What do you think the equivalent of $10,000 is in batteries? Is that like 10 car batteries?
Stu, you gotta take that again, because my whole answer was predicated upon the idea that dollars are meaningless in the apocalypse. Therefore, the only thing you could do with them is use them as toilet paper.
No, you got this is if it was a real monetary amount for you, like something that you could use that for.
Okay, so
like whatever the $10,000 equivalent would be in whatever currency they would use.
Yeah, so what would that? You're the game master, Stu. You're the MC. What is that? What's the exchange rate?
Yeah, let me look at my detailed setting notebook I have, and I have some spreadsheets for these calculations. Hold on, insert clicking noises here. Yeah, that would be about 20 car batteries, I think.
One AAA battery is equivalent to about one copper piece, which is equivalent to certain amount of platinum pieces, which is equivalent to like 10 American dollars.
So I feel like this may be rolling back my answer I just said. I feel like with a car battery, you should be able to buy enough stuff to live for a month pretty easily. Like, not
Okay.
like a poor one. So then it's probably more like a couple $1,000s for a car battery. So maybe 5 car batteries would be $10,000.
Yeah, 5 months worth of upgrades on the Spider. That sounds dope. I would love to do that in game. We've not had time. You pushed us so much.
What about you, Book?
First, I think upgrade his mystery board, because the mystery board is currently like very precarious. And I think we would see Book like first he would acquire a chalkboard, then he would acquire like an actual cork board for pins and things.
Yep, getting more advanced.
He'd reorganize. But that wouldn't be that expensive. So next thing he's going, new paint job for the Jeep again. Does he still have the Jeep? It's just in a garage somewhere.
I feel like we still have it. Yeah. I don't think we've ever gotten rid of it.
Jet black for the Jeep. He's decided stealth is the move. We do not want to be getting into any hairy situations with...
It is still primer white right now.
Yeah. Very loud. Jet black. We're going jet black for the Jeep. Matte black as well.
Ooh.
No shiny nothings. All right. Next thing. Book is going to buy every dog in Hamlet opening. He's going to make offers that the owners cannot refuse. Every dog. He's going to form a little pack of dogs. And then with the last remaining amount of money, he's going to make a trailer for the dogs so that everywhere he goes, he can bring the dogs.
That's sweet. I didn't know you liked dogs so much.
Yeah, Book. That's why Book liked the Wolves of the Maelstrom before he knew that they wanted to kill him.
You don't know if they want to kill you yet.
It feels like they've tried and therefore want to kill us.
We can talk about this more during the Oops All Talk Apocalypse episode that's coming up shortly, but they have directly saved you at least twice.
Yes.
My answer is I would get 10 guitars because I just really want them. There's this one I've been wanting called a Roland Axe Edge that looks super cool. And I think 10 of them would just be better than having one of them. And then a more practical answer would be soundproofing this room better.
Yeah, I would love to soundproof my room that I have.
Yeah, you need a mobile soundproof station since you move so often.
I don't know how that's manageable. Holy hell, this is a sick guitar.
I should Google it too. Let's do what color do you want?
This is dope looking.
Oh, the black keys, obviously. But whatever the blade is, I'm going to go spray paint it something anyway. So
this is dope as hell. I didn't even know they still made guitars. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I'll get one. I'll try to get one before we do our Under Hollow Hills thing so I can do cool music for it.
Yeah, pull out your guitar.
Can I tell you guys a secret?
Yeah.
I always thought a guitar was some sort of ethnic version of a stringed instrument.
That's a sitar.
Yeah, but the way that guitar is pronounced, it just sounded not like a piano with a neck,
Yeah, it's like keys and guitar,
Yeah. I didn't ever know how it was spelled until I was fully in college.
Today, yes. When you Googled it right now.
Yeah.
Books Nook of Book Takes.
Whoa.
Welcome back, everybody, to Books Nook of Book Takes, where we talk about the best of apocalyptic media. I'm your host, Book McCready, and with me, as always, are my two hosts, and the host with the most today is Stu Masterson. What do you have for us?
I wasn't sure if this was going to be me, because I also felt like I remembered Jacob saying he had one incoming last time we recorded.
Oh, I talked about it already.
You already talked about it. Okay. Well, I think the ones Brady expects me to talk about is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Is that what you're expecting?
Yeah. I forgot that came out, to be completely honest with you guys.
I didn't remember either. I remembered you saying that you had one, and then we had a discussion about Furiosa. Now, looking back, it makes a whole lot of sense that those were related conversations.
They may have not been. Who knows? I may have watched something else or read something else that's more apocalyptic than a Mad Max movie. But you saw it too, Brady, right?
I did.
And you have not seen it, Jacob?
I didn't even realize it had released, really, to be honest with you.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but it ends exactly how you'd expect because you've seen the sequel.
I was about to say, there's only, the way it's set up, it's doesn't leave a lot of room.
Oh, man.
If you've seen Fury Road, you know how it ends. So.
There's not a lot of wiggle room.
So I liked it a lot. I thought it was a very good movie. It was also one of my least favorite Mad Max movies, and I thought it was way worse than Fury Road. So I was definitely disappointed, I would say, in it. It was still very good. I enjoyed the entire movie. There wasn't any time that I was actually like bored, and I thought it was very exciting. There's some cool stuff, but just wasn't like a showstopper for me. How about you, Brady?
Yeah, I think I agree. Honestly, I think I put it right around, in terms of quality, like the first Mad Max, because like Mad Max 2 is obviously incredible. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome is obviously a travesty.
A little harsh,
but it's very funny.
It's fucking something, man. I kind of put it up there with the first one in that it's still a really enjoyable and entertaining movie. It's still harrowing at parts, but it lacked a little bit of that kind of... It seemed a little contrived, is how I'll put it. I think a lot of things about the plot and even the costume design and the people who were in play, it all just seemed kind of contrived. And I don't really think it was a super interesting addition to the lore here, if that makes sense. Like it didn't tell me anything.
It did not
lift up Mad Max Fury Road for me. It did not make me care more about Furiosa, because I already really, really liked Furiosa and thought she was super cool.
I mean, without having seen it, I can't really gauge, the quality of the movie at all, but it feels to me a little unnecessary. Just the whole concept behind an entire movie dedicated to Furiosa's past, because isn't that already Fury Road? Like Mad Max is in Mad Max in title only for Fury Road. Fury Road should be Furiosa Fury Road. It is about Furiosa.
It tells you everything that you need to know about her.
It is.
Yeah.
She is the main character of that movie.
Yeah.
So
she saves them ladies. Also, why was she a baby named Furiosa? Furiosa should have been the name that she chose for herself when she decided to embark on a life of violence. She shouldn't have been walking around the green place picking apples with her younger sister, whoever that was, being like, my name's Furiosa, and I love this apple.
Though it is post-apocalyptic, they don't know what good names are. I mean, my name's Ocean, and your name's Book, so...
I don't think your name is Ocean, though. I think you're called Ocean. I don't think your name is Ocean.
I can't wait for the reveal that your name is just like something super lame and boring.
Jeffrey.
My name is Jeffrey Stevens.
Carl.
It fell into like the normal prequel problem where it's like talking about something that doesn't need to be talked about, like you were saying, Brady. But it also seems like super not George Miller, who is very much like, don't lay out the backstory of everything. Like he clearly like has it in his head, but I never watched Fury Road and was like, I really want to know about the politics of the bullet farm. That was not something that was interesting to me. That's not why Fury Road is so good. So, but despite all this, just like we usually when we complain about stuff, it's still very good. I would actually recommend people watch it. It's streaming now on something. Don't know what. Brady, do you know?
It is on Max.
Max. Go watch it on Max. We need George Miller to have enough money to make one more movie before he dies, because he's like 900 years old.
I want Mel Gibson and Tom Hardy.
Oh, we ain't getting Mel Gibson back.
Punch each other to death out of character.
There we go. You fixed it. We're in an exciting courtroom scene. This is going to be our first episode that takes place entirely in one room. Are you guys excited?
We're going to do an entire courtroom drama here. It's going to be so good.
It's either going to be 10 minutes or 3 episodes. So get ready.
All right. Prep ready.
Well, let's get back to the action. Previously, you guys made it back to Hamlet opening and did a whole bunch of stuff that's not important, because right now we are at a moment of intense action of a courtroom drama where you guys have levied charges against Hickory Fleek. He's being defended by his daughter Frida, and you guys are now going to try to bring justice to him. And we haven't laid out much of what you're going for or what you actually want the penalty to be or what charges you're bringing against him. But last episode ended with Captain Noodles, which is one of the tribunal you chose for some reason, going up to the microphone and saying, what are the charges?
Hey, to be fair, we picked them because we're esteemed members of the community, right?
It's Captain Noodles, Maple, and Juniper are the 3 judges.
We're going to make some opening remarks where we will reveal the charges that we're bringing against Hickory.
Yeah, I think the prosecution gets to start with opening remarks. I'm guessing Book wants to go first.
Sure. So, Book is holding his cane freshly oiled. He has shed his normal ratty trench coat. He's wearing a suit that is too large for him because it was his father's. He steps out from behind the bench and approaches. He kind of centers himself between the three esteemed members of our community. And then he looks at the jury that is just a bunch of weirdos, I presume.
Yes. They don't actually do anything. They're really just here to watch.
And Book says, ladies and gentlemen, or sorry. Oh, wait. Hold on. I know how to do this. I've seen my friend. My friend's a lawyer. Hold on.
He's starting to believe.
Your honors, and may it please the court. I am Book Macready Esquire at law. And over the last week, my colleagues and I have performed the most comprehensive investigation ever investigated in this beautiful town of Hamlet Opening. We have succeeded and strived and succeeded and strived. Hold on. We have strived and succeeded to prove that the man at the bench to my left is guilty of a bunch of shit. And now I will weave a tale, informing you of our various exploits in securing and proving without a shadow of a doubt the guilt of Hickory Fleek. Oh, yeah, Stu, and then we cut to a flashback where we do a bunch of investigating.
Like in this time since the end of last episode.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, yep. We did.
I think that's cheating.
1 full week's worth of investigating, and we learned a bunch of good shit.
Flashback, you're in a shadowy corridor. Where are you going?
Okay. I've got Johnny Hertz's 10-gallon hat on, and I'm in full sneak mode. He lent it to me. I'm looking at Ocean. I'm like, Ocean, you know who you're talking to first, right?
No, who? Book, what are you talking about? Who am I talking to first? I thought you were the detective here.
Ocean, we've been having a conversation for like the last 25 minutes about who we're both gonna respectively go talk to.
Well, I mean,
have you not been paying attention at all?
I've got a lot on my mind right now, Book. You know,
did you just come out of a vision? Are you with me?
No,
Books are snapping around.
Yeah. All right. I'm with you. Okay. All right. Let's see. You want me to talk to?
Also, you're just wearing your regular clothes. We are in full investigative sneak mode. What is happening?
I'm not used to this, Book. I don't normally sneak around. You know me. I'm not a sneaky kind of guy.
Ocean, our goal is to collect as much incriminating information about Hickory Fleek as possible. So you were going to talk to the scavenging bros. That's Beethoven. Start with Beethoven.
Okay. Bam, Beethoven.
You're trying to prove that Hickory Fleek took way too much taxes for stuff that we just found laying around. All right. Trying to make a living that propped up the community, right? More or less.
Yeah. Okay.
And I am going back to Johnny Hertz, which is where I got this hat. So I probably could have just talked to him then. And then we are going to meet back at my place in 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Clock comes up on the screen, ticking down.
All right.
Okay. All right. Sounds like a plan.
You ready?
Wait.
Break.
Wait. Book.
I'm gone.
Book.
No. Sorry. What do you need? I'm back.
Your head pokes back around the corner.
I'm back.
Where the hell am I supposed to find Beethoven?
That is a good question. You should
I'll just go talk to Juniper. He probably knows, right?
I heard he's so badass that you can find him by looking at any horizon. You hear the very loud sound of an RC car inching along behind you. Just
I heard rumors that he was so badass. Anytime he went into a cave and needed a new house, he just punched through the cave walls with his fists and made room.
like Steve from Minecraft.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, like from that movie where Jack Black plays that guy.
Yeah, I wonder what it's
Minecraft
based on.
guy.
I remember watching that movie with you a while back, but
I don't think it's based on anything. I think that's an original piece of incredible artwork.
Like Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I don't mean to drag us down here. Vesuvius, what is a Horizon Underground?
Have you seen the movie Event Horizon?
But I feel like Horizon requires.
I feel like you're just saying this to get out of having to come up with a Beethoven fact.
But if there's no edge of, because I can see, I mean, like, I guess what you said is accurate, because the only place that's far enough away for you to not be able to see the wall of the other side of the cave is deep into Subtropolis, which is where Beethoven usually is.
Yeah.
So I guess it's true enough. Anyway, I heard he drinks gasoline when he gets thirsty and he doesn't have any water on him. And he's just fine.
That's not safe.
Well, shit, that means he could be anywhere down there. He doesn't need much water to get by if he can just drink gasoline.
Just find a car laying around, stick a straw in it. I heard he's so badass that when he finds a car in Subtropolis, he just sticks a straw right into the gas tank and slurps it out.
Doesn't even open the cap. Just
doesn't even open the cap
the
right after, like a boba drink.
I've heard he's so badass that he doesn't even use a straw. He just punches a hole through it and then just vacuums up it with air pressure.
Like Popeye with a can of spinach.
Exactly. Who's Popeye?
I heard that he drinks so much gasoline, if he ever needs to power a car, he can just pee into the gas tank.
Holy hell.
I heard that when he drinks gasoline, it starts as unleaded and comes out leaded.
I heard that if he finds a car that has gasoline that's deteriorated, is no longer useful, he just kicks the car. You know, like when you bang on like a piece of electronics and get it
like
working?
the phones,
he just like kicks the car and it just starts.
I've heard that when he starts the car, he doesn't even use the key. He just manually turns the engine. There's one thing I gotta know though. Where are we hearing these facts about Beethoven from?
You know, just around.
Yeah, I mean,
I hear him from other people mostly.
I mostly hear it at the bar, but
he could just be a sweetheart.
I don't know. I think I've heard enough to know that's probably not the case.
Well, so what do you want me to do, Book? You gave Ocean his task, but I'm an important triumvirate in our prosecution. So.
What if you just go around town getting information? I mean, I feel like you're pretty well liked in the community.
Absolutely.
Go around collecting information from people, talk to them, tell them what they know and their feelings about Hickory. And if they have anything specifically damning, tell them to come find us so we can talk to them kind of more involved with.
That sounds good. Ready to break? That clock has still been ticking this whole time, so we're down to 1 hour and 23 minutes.
Well, hold on, Vesuvius. I have one more thing. As you're going around, I need you to see if anybody still has a working TV that still has an antenna. Like some of those
rabbit ears.
Yeah. This is vital.
Yeah, I think I know some.
Vital for what we're trying to do.
Do you want the television or do you want to just talk to the person?
I really want the television.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Well, I don't have to have it, but I need to know where it is and I need access to it.
Okay, that's weird, but okay.
It's definitely related to what we're trying to do with Hickory.
I think I'm tracking. I know exactly where you're going.
Excellent.
He winks at you.
And I wink back.
Then he zooms off.
Ocean looks at Buck and goes, I bet he doesn't have a clue what you're thinking.
He has no fucking idea. And I flick the brim of the 10-gallon hat, and then I scurry off to Johnny Hertz's place.
Okay, and Ocean heads over to Juniper's bar.
We'll start with Ocean. The bar opens up. Remember when I used to have bar music every time? I don't even know where that song is anymore. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like the first 2 episodes, every time you guys went in here, I had the same music. Now I don't even know where that song is. Yep, it was the Cantina song. You go into the bar. It's a celebration right now, so it's actually pretty crowded. Based on your guys' roles last session, there's a lot of people who are partying it up. So it's probably the most crowded you've seen it in here, at least since we started following your guys' story.
When Ocean walks in, first thing he does is just scan with his eyes to see if he sees Beethoven. I mean, he's a pretty big dude. I figured he'd jump out in a crowd fairly easily.
You do spot Beethoven.
Oh, perfect.
And you see him. He has a large stein on the table that he has filled mostly with nacho cheese and full tortilla chips, and you see him just drinking it.
Holy shit.
Just straight up pouring it into his mouth and swallowing the chips whole.
That hurts. That hurts to envision. Okay. First, before he goes up to Beethoven, he walks up to Juniper. I assume Juniper's running the bar.
He's a little sweaty, but seems like he has enough time for you.
Yeah, he comes up and says, "Hey, Juniper, looks like you've seen me long. Looks like business is pretty good today."
Yeah, it's gotten up a little faster than I can keep the alcohol stored up. I've had to water it down a bit.
Oh,
but yeah.
I doubt he looks around. Ocean looks around, sees all the drunk merriment, and is like, I don't think they can tell a difference. But I was coming in actually to, with Hickory's trial coming up, we're trying to gauge what the town thinks about his possible crimes he might have committed. I was going to come up to Beethoven and see if he had some information about how he handled scavenging, but anyone you can think of we could talk to, or if you know anything?
Can you actually give me a sway someone roll?
Yeah. Oh, I'm pretty good at it now that my improvements have gone into cool. That is a 9.
Okay. I want to be honest with you. It looks like I'm probably going to be on the court, and just, I'm not a big fan of Hickory, but like we go way back, and I know he used to be the good guy, and I just want you to let me know, are you guys like going for the death penalty, or what are you trying to go for?
I mean, me personally, I can't, it's going to be you guys that kind of decide based on what we find, but for me, I don't necessarily want him dead. I just need evidence that he's unfit to be in charge of Hamlet Opening. I mostly just don't want him in power again. I saw the pain and suffering he brought upon people, and I think we can do better without him. If
you promise me that you'll try to convince Book to not go for the death penalty, then I think I got a couple people who would be happy to help you out.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I will do everything I can.
He gives you a big, hearty handshake, and then he goes, now Beethoven, like, he's one of the only people that wasn't really under the thumb of Hickory. Like, he'll probably tell you how he sees it, but he was pretty much left to do whatever he wanted, because there weren't enough of Hickory's men to try to tell him what to not do.
I don't think they could have stopped him if they wanted to.
But some of the smaller people, I know Buckets, you may have heard him on the hit solo episode that Stu ran of The Truth Hurts with Johnny Hurts.
Was he the gun shop, the ammo shop guy, or?
No, not him. This was someone who called into Johnny Hurts' show and who was a scavenger and mentioned stuff going rough. He may be a good, at least kicking off point. I know he's had to send a lot of his family into Subtropolis to scavenge around.
Okay.
Honestly, I think he's probably the first place to start, but no one in this town was really a big fan of him, except maybe the people who laid line. And of course, old Pistachio Jones. Those are going to be your hardest people who will defend him and probably honestly lie for him, even under oath. So I'd watch out for them.
Doesn't surprise me one bit. Do you think there's anything we could possibly do to sway Pistachio Jones? I imagine you know him better than we do.
Me and him never got too much along, but honestly, he seemed like he was always looking out for himself, right? Like, he doesn't, if he thinks Hickory's a weak link, you may be able to get him to turn more towards your side, especially if he feels like he's going to be comfortable afterwards. And like, Pistachio Jones honestly was pretty like open and honest with you guys, as much as he hated you guys and like pushed you around to start with.
Yeah, we hated each other, but he helped us.
Yeah, there was like several times he told you like, hey, if you go to Hickory with that, he's gonna be pissed, or tried to soften the blow of things.
Okay, well, maybe there's something I can do with old Pistachio.
Now let's snap over to Book as what are you doing?
So when we see Book, he is talking to Crandall, and we just hear, hey, thanks, Crandall. That helps a lot.
So you made me flash back out of a courtroom scene to show the history, and then you're just not sharing the stuff you come up with.
No. When we flash back, I had just gotten to Johnny Hurts' place, but I'm talking to Crandall first. We don't hear what they say, but Book says thank you and shakes his hand.
And Crandall says, I think I know exactly where you're going with this.
I'm sure that you do.
And he gives you a big wink.
And then Book turns to Johnny Hurts. Hey, Johnny.
Hey,
thanks for the hat.
It's me, Johnny Hurts.
This has been great at people not recognizing me, because normally I don't wear a hat.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's so good as a disguise. They're like, who's that guy with the big hat? Not Johnny. He only sometimes wears a baseball cap that says Johnny Hurts on it.
Exactly. And the best part about it was I came to your place not wearing the hat. Then I left with the hat but didn't put it on. Then I put the hat on and came back to your place to have this conversation with you, so people just did not know that I was talking to you right now, which is important, I think.
Oh, yeah. Then let me take us off the air real quick. He clicks a button.
Oh, no. Okay. Johnny, do you have recordings of all of your past radio shows?
Yeah, it's the only way I can go to sleep.
It says a lot about him.
Do you think I could borrow them? what I'm trying to do here is build a case against Hickory. And if anyone has built a comprehensive set of evidence documenting all of the atrocities he's committed against the people of this town, it's you. I mean, you've interviewed and investigated and presented all of this information in the past. We just have to dig it back up and use it.
Yeah, I think I can get you a copy of it at least.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I would need. And then I suppose you would probably also, well, there's two things I want to know, but I'm sure you would also know some of the best folks for us to talk to in terms of people who've been wronged by Hickory.
Probably one of the people most directly harmed by Hickory is Kibbles. His family was eminently domained away from him. Do you know what that is?
I know what eminent domain is.
Yeah, it was eminently domained right out from under him because it was in the direct path of some line he wanted to lay down, is what he said. But he never tore the building down. He just kind of took it over and kicked him out. And he lost all of his stuff. Like he was pretty much left destitute. And he had to start sending his family out into Subtropolis. And his son never came back. He had a kid who was like 16. He went out there and never came home. And he definitely blames Hickory for it.
That's terrible. I have one last question for you. Johnny, why did you become so against Hickory? Of anyone in Subtropolis, you've done the most by far to undermine his authority. What inspired you to take such a stand against the people in power?
Give me a read a person roll.
Ooh, we're about to get some Johnny Hurts lore.
Can I use compassionate presence?
What will that tell you?
If they're holding on to pain, they blurt it out to you.
Okay.
Or if they're ashamed of something, they blurt it out to me.
Yeah, go ahead and use that. That's more exciting.
Yeah. Now I gotta roll 2d6. Oh no.
I'm glad all my players didn't bring their dice to the session.
Fuck yeah. God damn it. Roll plus cool.
You are very cool.
I'm very cool, but it only got me an 8, which is really upsetting.
I mean, that's still a success.
Oh, well, I still choose one. So between ashamed or holding on pain, I'm going to say holding. If Johnny Hurts is holding on pain, he blurts it out to me.
Ooh, wrong answer. Wrong choice.
No.
Really?
Johnny Hurts stands up straight and he goes, I am really just a paragon of the little man. I like to stand up for those who have it rough against the foot of tyranny.
Now we know he's full of shit.
I'm in a pretty good spot myself, right? Like I have a steady income. I got a nice house here. It's a little hot in here. There's a lot of electric equipment, but still pretty nice. But I can't just relax on my laurels. I have to stand up for the little man.
Johnny.
Bring down the forces of tyranny and oppression.
Do it now immediately. Go for stern presence and be like, you're fucking lying. Johnny, I don't, I mean.
You can give me a read a person if you want.
Yeah.
There's no reason you couldn't also read what he's saying.
I think I will do that.
You really did choose the wrong option there.
Damn, now we know Johnny's kind of a piece of shit.
I rolled a 5 with +3. Which means I rolled snake eyes. I failed the read a person super hard.
He seems like he is just filled with the passion to support the little man. There's not a hint of deception or dishonesty in him.
Oh, gosh.
Do I have to be prepared for the worst?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Always be prepared for the worst.
I don't like that I'm not... I don't like that. Okay. All right. I'm going to make a note here. Johnny Hurts.
That you like Johnny Hurts even more because you believe him so strongly.
Wait, no. Fuck. It's a paragon of virtue who is definitely hiding something. Oh man, I can't believe I rolled so bad on that. Okay.
He gives you a fist bump and says, knock him dead in that courtroom.
Thanks, Johnny. I believe you.
And he tips your hat you're wearing to himself.
Yeah. And then Book, I think Book is like very early, but he runs back to his cave and starts adding stuff to the mystery board.
Okay. Back at Ocean, you are at Bucket's shack.
Okay.
You see him out front. He does, since it is a nice celebration time, he does have a big tall boy PBR. But he is outside grinding down a piece of sheet metal to make it sharp, like he's trying to fashion his own weapons. And not good weapons, because they're made of sheet metal.
Ocean waves over at him and says, "Hey, buckets?
Hey, is that Ocean? What you doing here?
Yeah, hi. I was actually talking to Juniper, and he recommended me come speak to you. I was wondering if I could sit down and talk to you for a little bit."
Yeah, Papa Squat.
Ocean looks around, is like, "Okay, is there places to sit?"
There's a stoop in front of his shack that he's sitting on, like a small pillow that's like half eaten and all compressed, but there's a nice wooden stoop.
Ocean looks around and says, "You got a nice place here," and takes a seat on the stoop.
Thank you. Made it myself.
So, I'm sure you've heard that we are about to hold the trial for Hickory.
Yep, it's exciting time, and you brought back that power. Yep.
Yeah, we have. We're trying to do some investigating here to kind of build a good case against him. And Juniper said that you had some information that might be useful for us.
Yeah, I'm one of the most prolific scroungers in this here town. Don't know if you know that about me.
No, not at all.
I don't get all the big flashy stuff like giant power cords like you do, but in pure quantity, I'm up there. I'm up there with like Beethoven and stuff.
Oh, wow. It's impressive.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, it's been rough lately, but honestly, as long as I can remember, I came here like about 7 years ago. And that whole time since I've been here, Hickory's just always tried to take more and more of what we bring back. It got really bad about 4 months ago, where he was taking damn near half of whatever he scrounged back up. And I don't know what he's using it for. You saw his sad excuse of a defense force when we got attacked by those weird robot people.
No, it didn't. It really didn't seem like he was at all using all that scavenge that he was bringing you. What all were you bringing back that he was particularly taking from you?
Well, it would really be anything. It'd be any big hit we got. He would take about half of it. So if we found an old grocery store that still had paper towels in it, he'd take half those paper towels. If we found an old rotted out tank that still had a mostly working internal combustion engine, we'd bring it back and he'd take it and give us just a pittance of batteries in response. So he was getting most of our stuff. And if we didn't have it, it was stuff he didn't want. He'd want to take batteries from us at the end of the month. If we came back with just like things that are mostly useful for like those book people, those like fancy learners, like if we came back with any flash drives with weird pictures on them, or if we came back with any magazines, he never wanted any of that. But he would say, "Hey, you sold these for money, so give me some of it."
And you said it got worse 3 months ago. Did anything seem to happen at that time that you're aware of that seemed to trigger this?
No, it was a little bit before you threw that shovel through that guy's clavicle.
Yeah.
But no, nothing triggered it. You did that. Now, I'm not blaming you. You did that after he increased it, but it was around that time.
And thinking back about to when we were at Hickory's compound and the time we've spent there, we've not seen the quantity that we would expect, really, you'd think, from what we...
You did find a lot of batteries.
Okay, but not a lot of like raw materials that would line up.
No, he didn't have like an impressive like armory or anything. Like everyone was using like bad guns, and he didn't have like, I guess the like power subsystem is pretty advanced, but there is no indication that it's been improved on since Book's mom left. So there's no really.
So I wonder what he's doing with all that scavenge then. Where would you take the scavenge, or where would he, when he took the scavenge from you, like not the batteries, but like actual raw materials that you'd find, where was that deal taking place usually? Did you go up to his compound, or did he send men to you?
No, he would usually send people to us. It was usually Pistachio Jones would oversee it, and he would send a bunch of people down to go carry it off somewhere. I don't even know where. I assume the courthouse.
We didn't see anything like that when we were at the courthouse. Do you know anywhere else that Hickory might have set up?
No, I guess Pistachio Jones got a pretty big place. He's camped out at that old Chuck E. Cheese. It's like a quarter block from the courthouse. There's a lot of room there, at least.
Oh, God. And a couple other questions. I just out of curiosity, because I think what you've told me is some pretty good information here. But did Hickory ever do anything beside to you, like, or send you out to scavenge or act in any kind of unnecessarily cruel way, as far as you're aware?
Not me. I've always been able to bring back enough, but when people don't, they've had to peddle it off. He's found little things to kind of punish him for. He said they were breaking some rules that no one really understands and things like that. Or he said like, "Hey, there was a new curfew last night and we saw you out." And like, I've never heard of any curfew being established, but he'd make people go peddle it off, but seemingly randomly.
You just make up rules on the spot to get you guys
peddling.
You peddling or taking more stuff from you.
Yeah, it's not a super good guy. I'm glad you guys took him down.
Yeah.
Hope your court case goes well.
Well, is there anyone else you know that I could talk to about this?
I just explained this as a different character, but I feel like Kibbles is probably the one who's been most wronged by Hickory. You should probably check him out.
Okay, I'll talk to him.
Smash cut, you're both in front of Kibbles' place, unless you need to do anything before that. Do you have any more people you're telling secrets to? Any more secrets you're doing, Book?
I don't, not right now, no.
You show up at Kibbles' place, which is just a tent on, it's actually back towards like the long guard.
I imagine both Book and Ocean both arrive roughly at the same time. And right as we both reach for the tent opening at the same time, and we look over. Book, what are you doing here?
Shh, I'm wearing my 10-gallon sneak hat.
Why are we sneaking, though? I was just going to talk to... You're here to see Kibbles?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think the hat will fit in the tent. And I lean the hat up against the side of the tent.
It's like the size of the tent.
I mean, I'm just here to talk to him. Are you here to steal stuff or something? Is that why you're being so sneaky?
No, of course not. Oh, gosh, no. You're the only one who has a history of stealing stuff, sir.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to make it about that.
Well, no.
Anyway, I knock on the center pole of his tent.
It rattles a little more than you feel comfortable. Like you may have damaged something structurally. And you hear a bunch of scrambling around inside, and the tent zips open, and you see a man who probably looks like he's in his lower 60s, but there's like a light to his eyes that make you think he's actually a lot younger. He's just had a super rough life. He goes, what do you guys want? Why are you bugging me?
Hey, Kibbles, it's me, Book, and my friend Ocean.
Yeah. What do you want? I don't have anything.
No, we're not here to take anything from you. We're here about Hickory. Have you heard about what's going on there?
No, did he escape?
No, we're about to try and prosecute
get him. And he reaches back and pulls out a giant Bowie knife. Where's he at?
Listen, I love that energy, but we're actually looking to prosecute him for how he's wronged this community, and we think that you more than anyone have reason to help us do that, and also evidence to support, the charges that we're bringing against him.
Yeah, no, I'll do anything you want to get back at Hickory. I'll take him down if you can just get him maybe not guarded for one night. I'll go put a blade right in his lungs.
No, we don't want to kill Hickory
right now.
No killing Hickory. Not yet. We want to have a trial. We want to expose him in front of the croup. Expose him in front of the town. We want to have a trial and share his crimes. We've heard that he wronged you, and you might have some information on ways you can help us.
Yeah, my son's blood is on his hands. He has wronged me. Yes, he's taken everything from me. Literally everything. All I have left is this tent.
Start by telling us what all happened.
My dad worked with propane a lot. He knew how to set up some generators. He had it. He was very good at propane and propane accessories. And he was trying to in mass produce these generators that ran only on propane. And we had a pretty much limitless supply of it. There's this tank that was buried in the ground not far from here. Back if you go down to Subtropolis about 3 blocks in, underground there's this valve. And no matter what, whenever we drew out more propane, it was always there. So we thought if we just got enough generators, we'd be able to power the town. And he had been working on that for his whole life. My dad wasn't an engineer, so he struggled with it a bit, but he was trying to recreate the one propane generator that my family had. And we kept working on it. And after he passed, I took it as my job to try to do it. And I was having some success. And I would hire as many people, any money I scrounged up, I'd hire more people to go out and try to find more generators. And I thought we had a way of kind of getting more power in the town. And I think Hickory heard that was going on, and he just wanted me out. So he found an excuse to take all of my shit.
And how did that lead to the death of your son?
Well, he took my house, and we had almost nothing. So we were trying to figure out what to do. And we decided that we're actually going to try to collect as much as we can here and just go live somewhere else. We didn't have any reason to stay here. We felt like the town wasn't trying to support us. So we were going to load up on as much propane as we could and head into Subtropolis and try to find a place where we could run our 3 generators, maybe start a new little society out there, and convince who we can to come with it. And I sent my son out to go collect a couple tanks before we went out. And he said it was bone dry. and he blamed Hickory for it. He thinks Hickory burned it all up. He's a little hot-headed, and he went to go speak his mind to Hickory, and he actually never came back. Hickory claims he never saw him.
What was your son's name?
Little Chauncey. Chauncey. He's just little to me. But yeah, Hickory claimed that he never saw him, that he must have got lost in Subtropolis. But I know we were not going far into Subtropolis. He wouldn't just disappear like that.
Well, it sounds like you saw him in between when he went to the gas line and
yes,
when he went to
he told me, and then he told me he was going to go speak his mind to Hickory, and I told him it was a waste of time.
Where did you have that conversation?
About where this tent is right now.
So it was here in Hamlet Opening.
Yes.
Can you tell me where the propane line was that you guys used to tap?
He draws you a map that says, hey, here's where it's at.
Ocean wants to investigate that.
So Kibbles, one more thing. Who else saw your son? Who else can verify that your son was back in Hamlet Opening before he went to go confront Hickory?
I think it was just me. Between those two things, he came straight back to me. He was livid. Like, if someone saw him, this was a while ago now, so I don't think anyone would be able to remember.
But certainly he would have had to have passed by.
Well, he came straight from the precipice to here. So you know that is going through like the middle of town, probably by the Soggy Worm and by the edge of the Broken Leg.
And he would have had to have passed by Johnny Hertz's station, wouldn't he? Was Johnny there back then?
I think Johnny had his normal radio show, not the fancy new one, but I think he was there.
Same building though?
Same building, yeah.
Okay, maybe Johnny saw him and could verify and could back up your claim that your son made it back to, of course I believe you, but maybe, Johnny Hertz could back that up so that we have more compelling argument.
Yeah, because this is pretty serious shit that you're describing here. If we can get somebody else to back it up, then that could be a hole in one.
And you said he would pass by Johnny Hertz, the Soggy Worm, and maybe by the Broken Leg?
Yeah.
2 out of those 3 are the judges, but maybe they would still be able to comment on the veracity of those claims. But certainly, I think we'll want to see if Johnny Hertz can back that up. I mean, if what you're saying is true, then we have a whole other slew of charges that we could bring up against Hickory, which is, basically conspiracy to commit murder, and then whatever the charges for hiding murder.
Murder hiding. Yeah.
Well, listen, Kibbles, I'm really sorry about your son.
Thank you. Just make sure you bring Hickory down and I'll be okay.
We'll do our best. And then Ocean, did you say you wanted to go take a look at that propane line?
Yeah. Ocean wants to go take a look at it.
Boom, smash cut. For some reason, you decide to rappel down the side of the precipice. Your feet land into the ground, and it's really only a couple blocks away. And you start heading in that direction. And you find just a valve that looks like it was supposed to be a main line that like ran up into a building, but it had been pried off at some point. And as you look at it, there's a little gauge that you flick a few times, and it says it's completely empty.
So Ocean kind of touches it, lays hands on it, and lets it speak.
Give me that weird roll.
Come on, give me 2. Fucking always just 1.
Always 1.
But that's fine here because I really only need one question here, and that is, what has been done most recently with this or to it?
I'm going to be nice and give you the 2 most recent things.
Oh, hell yeah.
You go back in time, you see it flashing forward. This time you don't start from its inception, like some of the other things you've spoken to. But you start from most recent and you see it sitting here unused, not fulfilling its purpose. It almost feels sad to you when you touch it. And like there's all this potential that's not being leveraged in any way. And you see the last thing that happens to it is you see a young man, it looks like he's like a late teens, come up to it and he's carrying 3 propane tanks and 2 in one hand, 1 in the other. And he plops them down next to it. And he looks at the gauge confused. And just like you did a second ago, he flicks it a few times. And then he turns the top nozzle and he goes and leans down and tries to like smell it. And you see he just gets pissed. He like punches the ground next to it and like shakes his head. He closes the valve afterwards and storms off, leaving the tanks there. And they're still there, all rusted out in current time. Then you go back a little bit further and you see Mako down there. You see him with some tools. He's got some wrenches and he is fucking with the valve. You see him messing with it and he ends up, it seems like he doesn't really know what he's doing, but he unscrews the valve and his hair starts blowing back as propane starts shooting up into his face. And you see he pops a little ball bearing into the hole left in there and then puts the valve back on. And then he disconnects the little gauge on it, seals it back up and heads out. then you're back to reality.
Ocean goes up to the tank and he kind of unscrews it to find the ball bearing to see if it's still there.
Yep. You're able to, with your strong, meaty paws, just wrench it open and it's there. And as soon as you pop it out, you feel all this gas smash into your face.
Ocean screws it back tight. In fact, he takes a couple of the propane tanks that were here and he fills them up.
I hope we don't have any listeners who actually know how propane tanks work.
So yes. the tank wasn't empty. It was just the
It was sabotaged to not put out
it was
gas,
intentional.
and then also the gauge was broken. Yeah.
So yeah, when Ocean comes back, first he looks for Book over at I guess we were at Kibble's tent, and looks around, sees he's left, and shakes his head, and then turns to Kibble and be like, "Propane's still there, Kibbles." And he pops down the tank next to him and says, "It was sabotaged."
He gasps and he seems confused, and he goes down and he turns the nozzle on the propane and sniffs it in deeply. He goes, that beautiful smell. Oh.
And Ocean
And he's just like holding on and hugging the
holds the
tank.
ball bearing out and hands it to him. "Somebody put this in there, and I think I know who it is. We're going to do some investigating. But now it's time to go to Pistachio."
Yep. You look for Book along the way, but you don't seem to find him. You're not too worried. And you make it to the Chuck E. Cheese's.
Real quick, Mako, just to go back, Mako, he's somebody that worked for Hickory, right?
Yes, he worked for Hickory. He was a line layer. That's what he was described as. And then he was also kind of nice to you guys recently.
He was. Maybe he feels guilty.
So you make it to the Chuck E. Cheese's. It looks creepy as hell right now. There's like no lights on inside of it. You see one flickering candle like way in the back near the ball pit. The door is ajar when you show up.
Ocean kind of steps foot in and just yells out, "I know you're here, Pistachio Jones, you big fucking nerd. Where's Hickory's goddamn money?"
You hear some labored breathing and some scuffles as around the corner your eyes adjust and you see Pistachio Jones, who is still in his back brace and a neck brace, and his face in this neck brace, his jowls have been pushed up. So he looks like a Shar-Pei now. He no longer looks like a bulldog. They're all wrinkled up around his face. And he looks at you. "Fucking Ocean, what are you doing here?"
"We're investigating. You know Hickory's about to be tried for what he's done to this town. I know the scavenge hasn't lined up. What's he been doing with it? You're his right man. You have to know."
Give me, I think this is a confront someone.
Oh, that's a 9.
Can I help
How?
by kicking in the door and yelling, "I know you're here, Pistachio Jones, you big fucking nerd. Where's Hickory Fleek's goddamn money?"
Okay, give me a back someone's play.
I've given up my dreams of doing the reveal that I had planned. Oh, okay. And I roll plus history with Ocean.
Yep.
Okay, well that's good because I rolled a 9.
Ooh.
9 total?
So that means it's new. You give me +1, right? That's the new way.
You can. It can be +1 or +1 question or +1 option. Or they can do additional harm, armor, psi, or any other +1 basically.
I was about to say +1 puts me to a full success. So
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Did you guys like prepare this beforehand? You guys said the
Ocean
exact
looks
same
around and
thing.
is like, "Book, what are you
the hell's
doing
going
here?
on?"
I was investigating Pistachio."
I whip off my 10-gallon hat. I was never gone.
Wait, that's Book. What?
But Ocean turns back and is like, "But come on, Pistachio. Answer the question. We know something's not fitting. Things don't add up."
Yeah. No, he was taking all sorts of shit. Give me a read a person roll. One of you. Whoever feels like it more.
Actually, Stu, I think after I whip off my 10-gallon hat, this is another good opportunity for a stern presence.
Ooh.
Okay, make your bad roll.
Fuck me, fuck.
Told you it was going to be a bad roll.
It was a 7.
Can I help it? Is my presence here not helping his stern presence?
You would be able to give him an additional
I'll give
option.
him an additional option if you think it fits that I can help here. Because I think it does.
How are you helping him be a stern
We
presence?
go back to back and we cross our arms.
I mean, I think we've got him backed in a corner here. Ocean's a pretty big, scary looking guy.
You did just break his
Yeah.
back, so I'll let you roll back someone's play by literally going back to back and breaking a back.
We're just stacking helps.
This is a quad back play.
That is exactly a 7.
Yes! Dominate. That means I get 2 pieces of information. If he has intentionally told lies, betrayed trust, or sown confusion, he can't meet my eyes. And if he needs help, wait, This isn't as helpful as compassionate presence, but I can only do compassionate presence when I'm alone. So anyway, but the first part's still helpful. And then if he needs help, they meet and hold my eyes. So
he does not need help at all, but he bashfully hunkers down into his neck brace more, so his jowls start covering his eyes. And you feel like he was actually lying about what he just said when he said, oh yeah, like he's at least trying to sow confusion about, oh yeah, Hickory took a bunch of that stuff.
Pistachio, we know that you know what he did with it.
It obviously wasn't going to set up and preparing the town. When we were at your guys' Capitol building, we saw the infrastructure. It hasn't been touched in ages. We couldn't even find half the scavenge that you guys would have taken. What are you guys doing with it? Or what was Hickory doing with it?
Hickory, he was a bit of a hoarder. He did try to hoard a bunch of stuff. But he did also set up some long-distance trade that he thought it was best to not tell everyone about. He liked to keep it on the down low.
Trade with who?
Well, just any outside travelers. We would get a couple people and ship it up down the long dark. We would go into Metropolis, find any local warlords, trade what we can.
What about the yellow Humvees and the silent?
They did not shoot us.
So when we went to Hickory to warn him about them, he already knew.
He knew they were around.
And he already knew about Crandall's too, huh?
Yeah, he had heard of Crandall. I had tried to trade with him before, but he didn't seem to want too much.
If you guys have been doing all this trading, why isn't there anything to show for it? Why have in the past 3 months, things just gotten worse and worse for this town? You guys have been taking far more than we ever needed, and we just keep losing power more often than not, and all our infrastructure is falling apart. Why was absolutely nothing that you guys took gone to improving Hamlet opening?
Well, we would normally just trade it for more batteries, so we had a significant enough control of the market.
That's fucking stupid.
Dude, all money is fucking stupid. What do you want me to do about it?
But he didn't do anything with the batteries. We went and there was a stockpile of batteries, some at least half of which could still hold some amount of a charge. And they were just sitting around in a pile collecting dust.
Let me explain to you about capital and scarcity.
But you're creating both.
He starts wheeling over a chalkboard. Give me a read a person.
Oh, thank God. That's a 13, baby.
Ask me 3 questions, I think, whenever you want to during this conversation.
I want to know if Pistachio is telling the truth. I want to know how he's vulnerable to us. And I want to know how I could get him to tell us what happened to Kibble's son.
Ooh, good questions.
First, you feel like he is certainly not telling you the whole truth. You're right that what he's saying doesn't fully make sense. It does make sense that Hickory wanted to have the vast majority of the money in the town, basically, which is what batteries are. But to have set up all these complex trade routes and things like that, it seems like he's holding something else in. You think if you figure out what that is, he would be very vulnerable to you. You see there's like a fear in his eyes as you ask these following questions, and he was trying to throw you off by grabbing a chalkboard and explaining capital and scarcity to you. And if he's that vulnerable to you, you certainly have enough leverage to get him to tell you anything he knows about Kipples the son.
What can I do here?
So if I can figure out what piece of information we're missing. Ocean, let's do a little brain melt here.
Time slows, your eyes lock, and you have this communication with just eyebrow movements.
It doesn't make sense that they would make all these trade routes, trade away our hard scavenged stuff for batteries.
And then not even use the batteries and just stockpiling them.
Not even use the batteries.
Because they're not just stockpiling it, they're not using it for the town either. So a lot of these shortages of power are artificial because we have the power. I have a theory, and my theory is that Hickory was planning to stockpile resources for himself and make a break for it and sell out Hamlet opening. That's kind of what I'm leaning, is that he stockpiled all this shit in a private bunker, planning on making capital because he can't keep controlling the AI because the back and forth has been getting weaker and weaker. So he knows he won't be able to keep that up for much longer. So he's trying to get his resources in order so he can bail.
Wait, Pistachio.
Bro?
Hickory knows more about how my parents were planning on getting to the surface than he let on, didn't he?
You see him think really hard. And then he goes, I've suspected as much, but I cannot confirm it.
I bet my bottom dollar you could very well confirm it.
He doesn't tell me everything. I just know he's trying to scrounge up all these extra resources, and I don't know why. Like, he had a pretty good grip on the town already, but why all this extra trade? Doesn't make any sense.
Look, Pistachio, one way or another, at this trial, we've got enough evidence to get Hickory down, to stick him down. He's out. He's going to be out of power. He's not going to have any resources. He's going to have no friends. What happens to him afterwards is up to the town. But I'm sure they're going to come for whoever they feel has close ties to him. That could be you, depending on what you tell us.
Hickory knew that my parents were looking for a special battery. And that's why he never did anything with them. He knew they weren't the right ones. He thought that by trading with enough people, that somehow a battery powerful enough to get him to the surface would just fall into his lap. Where's his stockpile, Pistachio? Where's the supplies he was collecting to escape with?
I think it's in Kibble's old house.
Kibble's old house? The one that he booted him out of?
Yes, he never tore it down for some reason. Look, I think you're right. I think Hickory's days are numbered.
What was that? What was that, Pistachio?
What?
I think Hickory's days are numbered.
One more time. Make it clear.
Hickory's days are numbered.
Numbered. And I do want to come out on the right side of this. Hey, look, I know we've had some rough patches. Like when you broke my back, even though I was really just trying to get you to come in peacefully.
Now, I do kind of feel bad about that, but at the same time, you were being a real dick, Pistachio.
Trying to get us to come in peacefully by shooting us to death.
I had no gun.
You didn't.
Or if I did,
but everyone else chasing
I
us
didn't use
did.
it well. One of the two.
Listen, Pistachio, there's only one thing you could tell me right now that would prevent me from putting you on trial right after Hickory. What happened to Kibble's son?
He kind of sighs and sinks further into his neck brace. And then, like the majestic tortoise, he shifts his head out more so he can speak a little clearer.
Majestic tortoise.
I will tell you everything I know if I can get a nice little plea bargain out of this. Can we make a deal?
All right, Pistachio. You testify against Hickory. We'll make sure nothing happens to you.
I think I see where you're going with this. And he winks at you. Smash cut courtroom. Wait, no.
No. I have one more thing that we have to do.
Okay.
I turn to Ocean as we're leaving Hickory, Pistachio's place. I turn to Ocean. Hey, Ocean.
Yeah. What you got?
I have copies of tapes of all of Johnny Hertz's radio shows.
Oh, shit.
Which should have a mountain of evidence for us to present against Hickory. I'm going to go back to my place and start watching them. Do you want to meet me there so that, we got 2 eyes and 2 ears on everything?
Yeah, I can do that. We also need to hunt down Vesuvius. See what he scrounged up while we were out.
I forgot about Vesuvius.
Smash cut. Vesuvius power slides into your cave, and he has like a 9-inch TV balanced on the back part. He has a little basket fashioned now on the back half of his cart. It's looking more and more like an ATV as time goes on. Hey, I found you a nice little television with working bunny ears.
Okay, so Book has the 10-gallon bucket, the 10-gallon hat in his hands like a bucket. It's full of popcorn, and he has red string like tangled around like his arms and like his head, and also around his mystery wall. And I think maybe Ocean just showed up too. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah, Ocean comes in right after Vesuvius.
Ocean, I know I was supposed to be watching, or not watching, listening to all of, oh, hey, Vesuvius. Yeah, you should listen to this too. Okay, so while we were investing Hickory, I realized something really important for the case. And I think I've figured out what the Silent are trying to do.
What do you mean?
Well, all this investigating has got me thinking, okay, maybe it doesn't have anything to do about the case. But I was talking to Crandall, and he told me that they got the TTE for the Silent. Now, Ocean, I know that we have literal minutes before Hickory Fleek's trial. But can you remind me what TTE stands for?
Tickle Tickle Exploding Device?
No, the real acronym.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's Tickle Tickle Explosion.
Both
shit.
wrong.
Through the Earth Communicator or something like that?
Through the Earth Communicator. Now you told me, and Book is like pulling at his hair. You told me that they were recording TV shows.
Yeah.
And making weird deer shapes. I think maybe that was a different vision. But Ocean. And I like walk up to Ocean. I grab his shirt.
Yes.
They were trying to strengthen their signal.
Strengthen their signal?
They wanted to send it further. They wanted to send it through the earth. Do you understand what this means?
So what are you trying to tell me? That this evil AI overlord is just trying to fucking Fox network the underground?
It's just a viewership algorithm. It's just trying to reach more viewers.
What?
I think that's it.
So you're telling me it's literally just trying to capture as much power as possible to spread dumbass TV shows to as many viewers as possible? That's its entire evil plan?
Yes.
It's doing all these terrible things?
Yes.
For AI generated movies?
Yes.
Holy hell.
Yeah. Listen to me, Ocean. Do you know what this means?
It means I've wasted my life if it's true.
It means that it still thinks there's people to reach.
What? On the surface, you mean?
Why else would it be trying to communicate through the earth?
I don't know.
I think it's realized that there's barely anybody with working TVs still left down here. And so it has to look elsewhere for viewers. I mean, think about this, Ocean. What if its signal got so strong that that's why everybody's brain has static in the background of it?
Huh. She kind of thinks for a second, looks around and says, good God. Is that what we have the TV here for?
Book picks up the TV and slams it into, I guess he has one really long extension cord to bring power into his cave, and he unplugs like all of his essential shit and plugs in the TV and starts fiddling with the rabbit ears, trying to get the signal right.
Give me an open your mind to the psychic maelstrom roll.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
That is a 10, baby.
With your 10, you feel the static in the back of your head. And as this TV is on and you're starting to wiggle around these bunny ears, you feel that static almost sync up with what you're seeing. The sound that's in the back of your head sounds like exactly what this image looks like, of just gray, flickering black dots. And you feel exactly how you need to move these bunny ears. And you do it in just like a second. You just bend them and you like crimp one little area like way more than you should. Like if someone saw you, you're like, fuck, he's breaking it. You crimp it and the TV immediately shoots into a crystal clear image. Just perfect, beautiful colors, no static, no fuzz, and the sound starts blaring out. And it's the Brady Bunch theme song. But as the faces are coming on the screen, it just keeps going and going. There's like 47 Brady's up in here, at least. And the theme song has like 4 extra verses, and it just keeps going and going. And then eventually it cuts to the start of the episode. And it looks like a normal Brady Bunch episode, except there's like way too many people in the background of each shot, just like making cereal or arguing and things like that.
Oh, God.
I like this one.
Your mom was right. The AI really is stupid.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Oops, All Apocalypses. We are back, but trying to catch up from being a little bit behind these last couple weeks, so the next couple episodes may be a couple days late. And I just said couple about 8 times in one sentence. But if they're not out on Wednesday, don't be too worried. They should be out on Thursday or Friday. 3 more episodes, which means less than a month until our Oops All Talk Apocalypse 60th episode, so send us in as many questions as you would like us to answer. It could be about anything, just whatever in your heart. The music and editing was performed by Stu Masterson. Brady McDonough made that logo, and Jacob refills our eye drops, but with what? Love you, bye.
Run, Book. That hit on an RC car is coming in real fast.